Good morning. So we're going to move on with some more astronomy information. So on this material, I'm going to post not only this video, but I'm also going to post some potential notes that you can print out and write the information down. So, but if you can't print it out, you will just have to write the information down on your own worksheet. So the notes that I'm posting as I'm going through this, you will be able to watch this video and fill in those notes. And so, so make sure you do that, okay? All right, so as we go through the notes, if you pull it up, it will have starting out astronomy unit notes, and then we will go through. So one of the first things that you actually see on there is an acronym, and the acronym is "My very eager mother just served us nachos," right? So I'm waiting for Mexican restaurants to open back up, but so that "my" stands for Mercury, "very" stands for Venus, "eager" stands for Earth, "mother" stands for Mars, "just" stands for Jupiter, "served" stands for Saturn, "us" stands for Uranus, and "nachos" for Neptune. And you will be able to fill those out as you go in. So the acronym is "My very eager mother just served us nachos." And so the planets and the moons of our solar system, as you can see on your notes, it starts with the sun, because remember the sun is the center of the universe, which is that heliocentric. And then it goes from Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. And Pluto is no longer a planet. It's considered a star. So you could see that as the planets, you have the sun, and then they just kind of move away from the sun. So you will have Neptune that is farthest away from the sun, and Mercury that's closest to the sun. And so as you look at that, our solar system has one sun and 9 planets, okay? And some of the planets have their own moons, and some do not. So as you can see, Jupiter has quite a few moons. Uranus has the most. We obviously have 1. Mars has 2. So as you look through that, you see those little dots around those planets. Those are actually moons. So Jupiter has quite a few. Some of the planets have more moons than others, right? So as it orbits, remember we talked about that ellipsis orbit in the last video where it doesn't quite make a perfect circle, but you could kind of see that. And the example on there has Pluto, and then you could see the 2003 UB313 on there as well. And you could see it's almost an oval shape, but not quite an oval shape. And the path, usually elliptical, which is that not quite oval, but it's not quite circular, so it has a little bit of one celestial body in its revolution around it. So what is a revolution? A revolution is not history where you just erupt. A revolution is actually one complete cycle around, okay? So one time it kind of orbits all the way around. So one time, so, you know, that's what that looks like, okay? So if you're kind of not really sure, that's what it is. Okay, so in our universe, our galaxy, right? The sun is by far the largest object in the solar system. So as you can see, and you will see later, in there you have the sun, but in comparison, the sun is massive. It contains more than 99.8% of the total mass of solar system. That's a lot. So predominantly our solar system is made up of the sun. All energy that we get from the solar system comes from the sun. And as you've read through CK12s and watched those videos, the sun gives off a lot of energy. And so how is that possible? Well, you have what we call nuclear fusion, right? So 70% of the sun is made of hydrogen, 28% is helium, And then 2% is everything else, like different kinds of metals. So, you know, helium, sometimes, I'm sure some of you have, I have, we've sucked on the balloon and our voices have gotten super high, kind of funny, right? But 28% is helium. But when that comes together, what happens is it becomes nuclear fusion. And as you look through the videos and you watch that, when that happens, that's where that energy comes from. So you have two elements that are coming through that are fusing together, and it creates a lot of energy that we see at the sun, right? So as you go down and you look, you have just kind of different examples of what happened. So the sun is not a solid mass. It is gaseous. It has lots of gases and it has some metals in there. And so what we call that, it's made of plasma, okay? Electrically charged particles. And what that does is it's a higher state of matter beyond gas. And that's when those two things come together. That's why so much energy we can see. And we see that energy, the sun's really bright, it's really hot. That's a part of that nuclear fusion, all that energy coming off. All energy, like we said, from the solar system comes from the sun because of those gas. New area of focus that as we're going to move through is the sun, earth, and moon. So we're not going to focus on the different type of stars and what they kind of go through because that's a lot. But we really are going to focus on, as we start coming up through this week, is the new area, which is sun, earth, and moon. So understanding how the sun is made up, if it's different layers and what we're looking at, how does that affect earth and the moon? And so that's what we're looking at. And as we're going through, okay? So one of the things on the sun is that as you're going through and you're seeing it, you will see different layers of the sun and how the energy moves up to the surface of the sun. So as you go through and watch National Geographic video again, you need to understand where the fusion takes place and how that energy moves out to the outer layers and what happens. So you have this burst at the surface, and when it bursts out, and sometimes we can see it but we don't realize it, is that as it bursts out, it's really giving off a lot of that energy and what it looks like, okay? So I'm going to stop here for right now, and then I'll be posting some more information. Have a good day.